A little while back, I made a video on the Galion 120SE, and the conclusion of that was that I found it an outstanding amplifier in every way. It was really up there with the top performing amplifiers, Class A amplifiers, whether they be solid state or tube. And especially with all its features, with its ability to tweak the treble, tweak the bass, even putting it into some voicing, even turning it into AB if you wanted it to. It really, for me, became the Swiss Army knife of amplifiers. And I had in that video no hesitation in recommending it to people. And indeed, it was a really good match with our Sibelius. It had a lot of deep bass, and it got the drive cones totally under control. And yeah, it was just a joy to listen to. So, I bought this. But recently, I had the chance to get my hands on the standard TS120. And I was thinking, well, I wonder what it sounds like. And how would it compare? Because actually, the SE is 30% more expensive. It's about $4,500, I believe. And then this is about $3,500. You'll have to check the website to be sure. But I thought it'd be interesting to compare it. And also, in the meantime, I got my hands on a set of the KT88 Shuguang tubes, and I preferred the SE with these tubes. Just everything became not more holographic, but just a little bit more refined, more detailed. And if I had the choice, I'd go with these. So I thought today what I will do is I will make a set of little videos of the 120 playing with its standard tubes, and then take the tubes out and put them in the 120 SE. So you can hear the difference. Now, obviously on a YouTube video, it's not really very professional of me to do this, but I just thought it'd be fun, and why not? And then of course, vice versa, I will take the upgraded Shuguang tubes out and I'll put them into the 120 model, and then you can compare them both. But I've already done this, I've listened to it, and I think the 120 with the upgraded tubes is really good amplifier. The 120, in fact, reminds me of what I call the traditional British amplifier sound, typified by companies like Leek in the past. But it's still got a lot of control and detail in the bass. It's just not as tight as the SE. The 120 tends to give a little bit more bass. You imagine the curve a little bit more at around about 60 to 80 hertz. I think it's lifting a little bit. And this is exactly where I think it might even be better than the SE for certain circumstances. For example, I've got a pair of LS35As, and they roll off at around 70, 75 hertz. And a lot of stand mount loudspeakers do. The manufacturers often say 40 to 35,000 hertz. But in reality, if you really measure them in your room, you'll probably find that they're rolling off pretty fast, around 60. Yes, they make a noise at 40. Whereas the Sibelius is absolutely flat at 38. It's making as much noise as 38 in most rooms as it is at 1000 hertz or 6000 hertz. So it doesn't need any lift in the bass. I know it's hard to imagine, and I know that some people can't get their head around how such a small drive cone can do that, but believe me, it does, and it's because it's using the same principle as how air flows from a double bass body. Just from the movement of the string and the bridge vibrating on the front plate, moving a compressed column of air. That's exactly what we're doing. But it gives a very natural bass, and the Galion 120 SE is able to control the drive cone. So it's really doing exactly what it needs. Whereas the 120 is a little bit more woolly in the bass. It's a bit warmer and it's a bit more of it. And that suited the LS35A very well. So if you've got a stand mount speakers, as I say, I think this will be a very good match, and maybe not worth the 30% for the upgrade, especially if you want to use that money later on for playing with changing tubes around or whatever. And maybe you prefer that warmer sound. If on the other hand you want the very, very best and budget is no option, and you want that little bit of extra refinement, especially in the top end and in the upper mid, then yeah, go for the 120 SE, because they have exactly the same features and ostensibly they are the same amplifier. Well, I hope that helps, and enjoy the little videos at the end. I know it's not really a professional thing and you can't really tell from a YouTube video, but I'm doing it just for fun. And why not? Enjoy the music. See you in the next video.
When they begin, the beginning, it brings back the sound of music so tender. It brings back a night of tropical splendor. It brings back a memory evergreen. When they begin, the beginning, it brings back the sound of music so tender. It brings back a night of tropical splendor. It brings back a memory evergreen. When they begin, the beginning, it brings back the sound of music so tender. It brings back a night of tropical splendor. It brings back a memory evergreen. When they begin, the beginning, it brings back the sound